Guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about our connecting balcony rooms, ocean view rooms that we got on Ovation of the Seas. We actually booked about a year in advance, and so I wanted to kind of talk through all the things in terms of giving you a room tour, as well as talking through like the connecting rooms, what you need to know, tips for what to bring for your rooms, especially if you have kids. We booked 2 connecting rooms because we have 4 kids all under the age of 10, and so I want to kind of walk through that and share with you guys how we had our room set up, as well as full costs for the connecting rooms, as well as what room we got and how we saved a ton of money. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I'll cut to the chase. We booked room 6136, which was a quad occupancy, and also we booked 6138, which was a double occupancy. So in total, if I'm looking at the prices, and I'll go ahead and share on the screen here, for the quad room, it was around $4,300, and then for the double occupancy is around $2,300. So that in total is around $6,500 for this Alaska cruise, and that is only for the cruise. That doesn't include the flight. It doesn't include the, I think, $1,500 extra on like photos, excursions, all that stuff. So base price just to book a room, or the rooms for our family of 6, was $6,500. So that amounts to about thousand some change for each person that was on our trip. Now that also included a bunch of discounts that we got, which includes kids sail free. And kids sail free, by the way, if you guys see that discount, it's because for the third person that's in the room that is a kid, they can sail free. So we didn't have all 4 kids sailing free. That's not what that means. It only means that the third person, as long as they're a kid, will be able to sail free in whatever room that you book. So we had a big savings also because I called in and asked to just check on the prices, and I think I got $1,000 off about 2 months prior to the cruise actually leaving. And so I booked all of our cabins about a year out. Now, what I will say is that if it's an Alaska cruise, unless you're like trying to save for like whatever, I would highly recommend getting an ocean view balcony room, because you're there to see the sights. You're there to actually see and experience the nature. And so what better way to actually experience Alaska, especially if you have Dawes Glacier or the Endicott Arm on your cruise, because I will share with you the video here. It is beautiful, and our room had amazing views. I mean, I'm going to show it to you right now. It was like breathtaking, and videos don't even do it justice. And so I would highly recommend that you get a balcony room. The reason why I highly recommend it is because when we did the Endicott Arm and Glacier, I don't think we actually knew what time we would arrive. I think it was like 5 o'clock on the itinerary, but it didn't dawn on me that 5 o'clock in the morning and kids, like, they would not want to get up. And so it was great just to be able to get some breakfast really quickly into the room, and then actually see the glacier from our room. And then when they were all woken up, we could actually go to the top and see the glacier. And also I did a quick like time lapse, and the ship actually did like a 360 around that area. And then we also were able to kind of see little boats like kind of taking people from the ship to get closer to the glacier, and then they kind of headed back into Juneau. But that's a whole different story. But overall, I'm going to show you around in this room. The other thing I'll say is that make sure you do not get an obstructed view. We almost had a big fail, because when I was on the call with the Royal Caribbean rep, they said, hey, a 25% obstruction isn't that bad. But then I stumbled upon this video where we were going to stay in this room, and the obstruction was horrible. It had like the yellow boats that were right underneath you, but it was like blocking like half of the window on the balcony. So if you guys are thinking about getting an obstructed view, just be very careful and mindful, because in Alaska, you're going there for the views, right? Unlike Caribbean cruise ship where you're like going there just to, you know, see the ocean and then maybe like see the land. But this is like a view, a scenic like vacation that you want to see the views on. So I'll stop on my soapbox there. Let's go to the room tour, and I'll talk to you all about that and kind of share with you some tips and tricks along the way. All right, so what we did was we went through the embarkation process. That took a long time, like 2 hours, because we had a 5-year-old who wasn't fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated literally meant that she had to be 14 days post her last vaccine, and she literally just got her last vaccine. So it was around 3:30, 3:45 by the time we got to the rooms. And as you can see, most of our luggage was there. My husband's stuff wasn't there, but it was like 2 of like 6 bags that weren't there. And when you arrived, there's actually a key card that is basically hooked up onto the sign, and then you go ahead and open the key card. I will tell you that if you're going on Royal Caribbean, the card does not have a hole, so you'll want to bring a lanyard that has a plastic sleeve for the card, because otherwise you'll be carrying the card around in your pocket and it'll be really, really annoying. So this is the room. The left is actually the double occupancy, the right is actually the quad occupancy. So as you can see here, walking the other way, the space is pretty big. Not gonna lie, it was a little cramped once we got all of our basically luggage all in there, but this is what it looks like empty, and then I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like completely full. But as you walk around, there's a desk there, and then here you can see all of my clothes kind of hung up for the week, including my puffer jacket, my swimsuits. This is the husband's side where he has all of his stuff stored, and his side actually had drawers as well, because they were on the left and the right of the sofa, and they have a safe. We normally don't use a safe. And then there's also storage at the top. That's where we kept like all of our scarves, our hats, our binoculars, and all of that that we didn't really need. And I didn't ever have any fear of it falling when the ship was shaking, and I actually didn't feel the ship move at all. All right, so what you'll notice next is where we actually got some plastic hangers that had pocket envelopes, as well as a pop-up hamper. This came in so handy. It's been handy for the last 2 cruises, and as you can see here, we can just put dirty clothes in each of the hamper baskets, one on either side, one for the kids, one for the adults, which kept it great. Also, these hooks are amazing. I'll show you the hooks that are the 55 pounders. I'll link down below to those items, but they're pretty much amazing. We hung pretty much everything on it. As you can see here, we hung up lanyards, hats, like swimsuits sometimes, and basically use them all over the rooms. And you'll see here on this side, we hung up goggles and other things. So make sure you grab these hooks, because the walls on cruise ships are generally made out of metal, and so it allows them to also be magnetic. All right, let's hop on over to the desk and the drawers here. So as you can see, this is a water kettle to basically make hot water, and then you've got 2 cups and then some coffee, but I would recommend just going to Cafe Promenade. As you can see here, this is the desk, and this is a lamp. It is immovable, so just FYI there. And then these are all of the plugins that you have, 2 USB ports and then 2 plugins. Make sure that you bring in your own like USB extension, not an extension cord, but USB like hub, basically, in order to charge all your devices. And FYI, internet does not work. Like, literally do not buy the internet, because it's not going to work, or else you'll regret it and have to go to stand in customer service for a while. We also bought the 24 pack of water. Even though it's like $1.25 a piece, it was well worth it, so that we didn't have to go up and down at least the first few days. I would recommend getting 3 if you can afford it. And then here you can see the key card. Make sure you bring like a hotel key card to keep like the electricity on when you're out. And then this is the bathroom, and what I noticed between the double occupancy versus the quad occupancy is that the showers actually have 2 shelves in the quad occupancy versus the 2. These are the... All right, so as you can see, the bathroom is pretty well stocked, and I never like ran out of toilet paper, even with like the 4 kids at all. And I brought my own little hanger so that you could see like all the makeup and toiletries, but overall, good bathroom. If you have a big family like us, family of 6, and you want connecting rooms, you'll have to book it pretty early. We did it about 12 months in advance, honestly. And as you can see, this is the door that is basically unlocked for the duration of our trip. And there is a magnet at the very top that keeps the door open. You see that big silver magnet thing that holds the door open, so you don't need a door stopper like I thought we did. So we walked in and out as we needed to without having the main doors open. And then as you can see here, like the door, like pretty much props open on both sides. So there's like 2 doors are propped on either side so that you can get from one room to the other. This side is the kids' room. Again, that little sofa right there folds out into another bed for the kids to sleep in. And then on the balcony side of things, they're actually able to unlock the door from the balcony. This is what the door looks like unlocked on either side of your balcony, right? So what you can do is actually ask the stateroom attendant to come in, and they will unlock the adjoining door so that you can actually have a bigger overall surface area for your party, which is awesome. I mean, you basically doubled the size of your balcony, which is pretty great. Again, 2 chairs on either side with a small desk that you can set your coffee on when you're looking at the glaciers. So it's pretty awesome and pretty sweet. Again, you're paying for it for sure. So that's what the adjoining room looks like. And this is just a view of what the port looks like. And this is when everyone has basically come onto the ship. And then if you look down, you can see that there is a track that you can view from here, but it wasn't too bad. We didn't hear anything. It wasn't by a smoking area, so this one was pretty great, except for we could hear the music hall on a few nights, but the kids slept right through it. It wasn't bad for me either. Now, if you're a mom like me and you've never cruised before, one of your biggest concerns is like how high is the railing? And as you can see, my husband's 6 foot tall. It goes right up to his chest. And my daughter, who's 5, is the one that I would be most concerned about. But again, we have conversations about not trying to step on top of it or else I'll fall. But this room was great because obviously it has like a ledge below it. So that's a safety measure. But I mean, as long as you're having a conversation with them, hopefully they'll listen. But it wasn't concern for me. There weren't any holes or anything like that on the railing that would cause me concern. As you can see, my 5-year-old was pretty short, so it wasn't a big concern. Unless, if you do have a concern, you can always bring in the side tables inside the room, and I had no concerns with them opening the doors in the middle of the night either. All right, so the room attendant actually takes down and puts up the bed every single day. So I don't know how he does it. He knows when we're eating breakfast or lunch, and he will set up our bed right after dinner, and it's all set up, ready to go. And then in the morning when we leave for breakfast, like the bed's already made and it's back to a bench seating. So it's pretty amazing. I would highly recommend tipping on top of the gratuity if you got really good room service. That's all I'm saying about that. This is what the quad room looks like again, and the beds were pretty comfortable. I mean, they weren't the greatest, but overall, I mean, I can't complain. You're going on an Alaska cruise and you're doing stuff on the ship. So we did take a lot of naps with the kids just because they were exhausted at times, especially on the night that we had to go to the Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier, because that was also the same day that we went to Juneau. And again, this is the connecting room. This is what it looks like at night. And these are my lazy kids just hanging out after a big spent day. And then these are some of the towel animals that our flight attendant, or sorry, our room attendant Kirk made us, and they absolutely loved it. He did such a phenomenal job with them. So overall, he's a great, great guy. I hope you guys found that room tour helpful. If you guys have any questions at all about connecting rooms in general, go ahead and leave a comment below. More than happy to help. If you guys need a space that fits more than 5 people, we absolutely loved it. We loved our attendant. We loved where it was located. And the only complaint I would say is that on one of the nights we could hear the music from the music hall, but it didn't stop until like around 10 o'clock. And the kids slept right through it. So it's not even a con if I would consider it in the grand scheme of things. So there you have it. Subscribe and like this video if you guys want more content like this. Thanks. Bye, guys.